But what does learning them mean? Okay. Learning them means, one, to count them. Allah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Malik, Al-Quddus, As-Salam, and we go on. So we know them all by the numbers. We know that maybe we'll count 100, maybe we'll count 110, who knows? So this is part one of learning them. Part two, knowing what they mean. Someone comes to you and says to you, Allah's name is Muqit. What does Muqit mean? I don't know. What does Mateen mean? Ar-Razzaq dhul quwwati al-Mateen. I don't know. So you have to learn the meaning, and this is what we'll try to do in this series. We'll try to list the name, where it's found, how authentic it is, what does it mean, what did the scholars say it means, and if we can get some of the benefits of learning it, that would be a bonus, inshallah. So counting them. 2, knowing what they mean. 3, implementing them. What do you mean by implementing them? It means that some of Allah's beautiful names can be implemented by the humans in themselves. So Allah is merciful, Rahim, and He orders us to be also merciful. Allah is Rafiq, kind, and He tells us to be kind. Allah is Kareem, generous, and He also orders us to be generous, and so on. So this is one way of implementing Allah's beautiful names. Also, part of implementing them is to ask Allah Azza wa Jal whenever you want something that can be related to His name. So if you want Allah's mercy, you say, Ya Rahman, Irhamni. Oh, the most merciful, have mercy upon me. It wouldn't be appropriate to say, Ya Jabbar, Irhamni. It wouldn't be appropriate to say, Ya Aziz, Irhamni. Because these attributes relate to Allah's power and might. So you don't ask forgiveness by calling Him with these names. And likewise, when you want victory upon the enemies of Islam, you don't say, Ya Ghafoor, oh most forgiving, grant us victory over the enemies. This is mocking Allah Azza wa Jal. You use the term Ya Aziz, Ya Jabbar, Ya Qawi. Grant us victory over our enemies, because this is related to what you're asking. You want provision, you ask with Ya Razzaq Rzuqni, and so on. So this is learning them, knowing them, counting them, knowing what they mean, implementing them by either calling Allah Azza wa Jal or having these attributes in your life and doing what Allah loves of them. The second benefit of learning this science is that without it, you cannot know Allah. So many people come and say, Shaykh, we do not find khushu' in salat. We don't have concentration in salat. We're always negligent, absent-minded when we make dhikr. Why is that? The answer is very easy. Because you do not know who you are worshipping. Knowing Allah Azza wa Jal is divided into 2 types. And it can be looked at from various angles. But one of the types is that is shared by Muslims and non-Muslims, by sinners and righteous people. And that is to acknowledge there is a God. To acknowledge there is Allah the Almighty who created the universe. Everybody knows this. So this is part of knowing Allah, but this is general. There is this specific type of knowledge of Allah Azza wa Jal that can only be given to those who know His beautiful names and attributes, which would make them bashful of Allah, which would make their hearts connected and related to Allah, always looking up to Allah Azza wa Jal and to the day they meet Him. And there is nothing more important for a soul than to know Allah Azza wa Jal, the Creator, as Ibn al-Qayyim says. There is no way to acknowledge and recognize your Lord without knowing His beautiful names and attributes. The more you know, the more you are closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. You're seeking Him subhanahu wa ta'ala and you're striving for that. And the more you are ignorant of Allah's beautiful names and attributes, the further you are, the more ignorant of Allah, the more resentment you feel when you're called to come closer or to do any sort of good deeds.